Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's Dark Avenger comic book review, and this is the week of the 21st. Once again, I know this is going up uber late. Sorry about that. These comics came super late because of the hero clicks they came with, and I couldn't read the comics after this because I had to read these first. So, as I was saying in this issue, first of all, go back to the other part because I don't want to repeat everything. Spidey gets a new suit, which I was showing. I'll show it again in case you guys fast forwarded through. Avengers make a brief cameo. There will be more Avenger cameos in future issues. Also, it was actually mentioned that the X-Men and who else were off Earth. Oh, God, sorry. It was at the beginning of the book they mentioned this. In the very beginning of the book, it's Doc Ock with the Sinister Six, and they're talking about, oh, here we go. X-Men are off Earth, and the Defenders and Fantastic Four are off Earth as well. They're all occupied or off Earth, so that's when everything goes into play. He's not worried about the Avengers. The whole beginning of the book basically summed up all of Pete's new inventions he created since he joined Horizon Labs, which is way back in issue 666, 663, 663. There's a ton of the little red box references since Dan Slott started, let's put it that way. And this felt more like a .1 because honestly it summed up all the stuff Pete's done at Horizon Labs up to this point. It set whatever plan Doc Ock has into motion, and it introduced a new Spidey costume, and it left us with a to be continued. Am I disappointed? No. Did I expect a little bit more in the first part? Yes. Because now I have to wait for part 2 for the story to move forward a bit. I feel like I went from point A to point B in this book fairly quickly. Basically, Pete talks about his old inventions, Doc Ock attacks, there's a Spidey fight in the beginning of the book where he's riding on a Spider-Man glider, which reminds us of Green Goblin, and he throws spider balls which open up this foam stuff. It's stupid. It's like Spidey's Green Goblin in the beginning of the issue, only he's a good Green Goblin. Don't ask me, that's the feeling I got. And then we get to the middle of the book, Doc Ock puts his plan into action, and everybody's debating about it, and Spidey's the only one that's like, are you guys crazy? He's a lunatic, and to be continued. New costume to be continued. Point A to point B, fairly quickly. However, I have a lot of faith in this book because it is being written by Dan Slott, so I'm not giving up on this yet. I'm hoping that the next issue will pick up a little bit more, and as the story proceeds, it'll get even better as time goes on. Fingers crossed. No jinx. Okay, we're going into DC Comics. First off is Justice League number 7. We're now in the present. For Justice League, we're in the present. And it seems like we're still in the past. Nobody works, well, they're grouped together in like groups of 2. Nobody listens to Batman. It's like watching a teen version of the Justice League. Now, for those of you who read the Justice League of America way back in the 90s, they all worked together. Batman kind of was like the brains that worked everything out in the JLA, and everybody kind of followed Batman because they knew he had a little bit more intelligence. Like a little bit more, not intelligence, he was good at planning things out, and they knew it. So they followed his instructions because they knew he knew what he was doing. Instead, Batman tries to give instruction, and instead Green Lantern goes, I think you're forgetting something. He's like, whoa, 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 Batman. I think you're forgetting something. We're the Justice League. We got this. And they basically just all run off. And he even says in the last panel, just go. Because he gets pissed off because nobody's listening to him. And they all attack. And then there's a nice little Skype call between Colonel Steve and Wonder Woman. You know Steve loves Wonder Woman, but he told her and she doesn't feel the same way. Justice League's he's basically their PR guy. And it ends there, and then we get a beginning. Well, there's some guy writing a story for Justice League, and it turns out at some point he's going to be a major villain or whatnot. I don't even know. So then you go into the Shazam second part. Billy Batson has gone from being a nice little kid to a snot-nosed little something that I'm not going to say on here, but he's a little brat. and I don't like him. And I don't like the new Shazam. This is the last issue of... Yeah, I know, my hoodie, right. This is the last issue of Justice League I'm going to be getting. I'm just... Yeah. A lot of people have been like, Chris, hang on to it. Chris, it's really good. It's a melting pot. Listen. I try really hard to enjoy the new stuff. I try really hard. But when I start skimming a book, or when I see a character from years back, Billy Batson was never as bad as they re-portrayed him here. Call me what you want. Call me not willing to accept change. Call me whatever you hard-assed. I don't care. This is just not for me. So I'm publicly announcing that I'm dropping Justice League. Any other book will probably be just dropped. Birds of Prey, number 7. They finally believe they found Choke, and it turns out it was the doctor that's been helping them out all along. So they were betrayed. And this guy screws around with the whole team that by the end of this issue, the whole team is in an uproar, and they all go kind of their separate ways for a bit. So they kind of break apart. And it's really good. I'm enjoying it. I mean, it's nice to see Batgirl part of the team and whatnot. I'm trying to find a good picture. So this guy was a really crazy, manipulative kind of guy. He knew how to break into people's psyche, so to speak. And then it turns out, I don't know how I feel about the whole Black Canary murdered her husband thing. I mean, maybe at some point it'll, I'll show this page. It'll come out that she didn't murder her husband, that something happened and she was framed for it and she just took the blame, or I don't know. Maybe it's true. I really... In this new DCU, anything's possible. She could have murdered her husband. Turns out, though, in the end, the guy isn't Choke, and Choke is still out there to be continued. We're a half a year plus a month in, and we still haven't gotten through the first story arc yet. We'll see how things go, I guess, if I continue this series. I'm debating about Birds of Prey. This is one of the series I've been debating about, for those of you who didn't know. Series that's definitely not going anywhere. Green Lantern Corps, number 7. This entire issue is about John coping with the fact that he actually killed another Green Lantern, and he actually opts to take the body back to his home world to be buried. There's a family issue. The brother can't accept the older brother's death, and John tries to explain to him what had happened, and he's like, he died heroically. He died doing what he died a hero, so to speak. The Guardians had their little moment in the book, as always, against Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner flies off and gives him what for anyway. Hate those little blue dwarfs. And basically they bury the guy in the end, and it's a warm kind of ending to the book, but at the same time, you know, the ramifications of John killing another Green Lantern is definitely gonna, well, it is gonna come back to haunt him. Actually, it is mentioned in a future arc that he's gonna go on trial for killing the Lantern. I'm trying to find a good picture to show you guys, but I'm not really coming out with one. Too good. I'll give you guys this page for the heck of it. Artwork's okay in this book. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's alright for the time being. So, Green Lantern Corps. Pretty good. Definitely third favorite out of the 3 Green Lantern books right now. Green Lantern being first, New Guardians being second, and this being third. I'm indifferent towards Red Lanterns. As I said, I'm picking up the next issue. If the next issue doesn't wow me, it puts it on the fence of maybe I'll drop it. Just like Birds of Prey, it's on the fence now of maybe I'll drop it. Justice League I tried to give another chance to, but I cannot stand brash. I'll explain it in the roundout. So Green Lantern Corps, really, really good. Red Hood and the Outlaws, number 7, a definite keep for me for a long time. Red Hood in this book, first of all, they put Crux in Arkham Asylum, and he's put there permanently. That's his lifetime sentence. Starfire's not too happy about that. She wanted to kill him, but yeah, Jason was like, no, but we got the ship at least. And the whole story, finally, you finally learn that Red Hood was being played by the girl on the cover, whose name is Essence, who showed up in the first issue, or second actually issue, or first and second issue of Red Hood and the Outlaws, and she actually told him that it was the Untitled that killed, what's her name? Too many names to remember in 1 week. That killed... I can't remember. This woman's name is probably the easiest thing in the world too. Dukra. Yeah, that's why I couldn't remember. So she has a grudge against the Untitled, and she was sending basically Jason and his friends out to kill them all. There's a fight that happens on the alien ship. She disappears and or gets phased. We don't know. Everything kind of like comes to an end, and the next issue is a Sue scorned because the woman comes out of her coma. Turns out she didn't die from, like, I believe issue 3, and now she's out for the Red Hood's head, and she's going to do whatever she has to because she's in Gotham to kill him. To be continued in the next issue. It's a good way to end the first part and lead into the next story. However, do know that Red Hood and the Outlaws is going to be colliding with the Council of Owls, or the Court of Owls, in about 2 months. I believe it's in 2 months because I already started April's comics and the Court of Owls isn't in it yet. So I believe it's in May that the Court of Owls is going to start reaching through to all the Batman titles. So, little warning for those of you who are buying individual comics, like not the whole Bat series, that the Court of Owls is going to come through all the Bat books fairly soon. Really good though. I'm enjoying Red Hood and the Outlaws. Another Bat book I am really enjoying, Nightwing #7. This actually has a bit of a connection to the Court of Owls. It turns out that Raymond was chosen in place of Dick because of the Court of Owls, because the Court of Owls was working, and you'll hear more about this in the Batman book, which is book of the week this week, by the way. He was to be one of the talents for the Court of Owls, and because his parents died and he was adopted by Bruce Wayne, they had to pick a new one. As you can see, the Court of Owls kind of have their thing here, and it was Raymond, only he wasn't strong enough. He escaped, and he blames Dick for everything because it was Dick's name that was in the book, not his. Long story short, it ends the way any kind of story like that should. Girl goes to jail, bad guy dies. This is about 3 weeks old, guys, so I'm kind of giving away more spoilers here because by now I'd hope the people that are reading this book kind of know everything that's gone on already. And then this page over here, and these next 2 pages, this one and this one, happen in the Batman book also. It's just done with different artwork. Turns out the next story, though, because it's not going to be going to Court of Owls just yet, is Dick Grayson, or Nightwing, was framed for some type of murder, so he goes riding off to find out what the problem is to be continued, what the issue is to be continued. End of the first story arc, beginning of a new arc, or a 1-issue arc, because Court of Owls in 2 months is going to be going through Nightwing as well. So, definitely a very good book. I love Nightwing. Nightwing's going really, really well. The story's solid, ended really nicely. It leads in, it connects to the Batman book very well, and it flows right into the next story. No questions, no plot holes, and no rough bumps in the road. Absolutely highly recommend Nightwing. A book that's out of continuity, sort of. Well, actually, it is out of continuity because it's based off the cartoon series. But related to Batman, in a different universe, Batman Beyond Unlimited #2. 2 stories, once again, the Batman story in the beginning and the Batman JLA story, JLA Beyond, as the second story. Okay, first story, Batman is still dealing with the Jokers that are coming into Gotham Tim Drake and Lucas Fox Jr. join Wayne. It's not called Wayne Corps anymore. What's it? Is it Wayne Corps now? Because it's not Wayne Tech anymore. It's Wayne Corps still. So they join Wayne Corps. Bruce is building up Wayne Corps again. There's a shooting at Gotham Harbor. There's a firefight at Gotham Harbor. Batman shows up. It turns out a character, for those of you who watched the TV series, you know this. The guy's name is Stan. No idea who he is, though. He's a super-powered guy. And it kind of ends with the guys that Batman was protecting against Stan took Stan's dog. And he's going to stop at nothing to get it back. Yeah, this story kind of, the ending was like, okay. The next story with the Justice League Beyond, however, though, was a little bit better. Justice League Beyond invades Cadmus to try to find the Atom. Atom escapes, but so does Batman. Batman and Atom, well, Batman follows Atom, but he's got that like stealth mode going on. Long story short, he brings Atom back to the Justice League, and that's where it's to be continued. However, he does bring one other person back who was a prisoner at the Cadmus, and I'm going to let that be a mystery, because those of you who aren't reading Batman Beyond, if you're not reading it, you don't care about it, and if you don't care about it, you won't care to know who that prisoner was. I'll reveal that in part 3, because it's probably going to have a bigger ramifications in number 3. But for those of you who aren't reading this, you should read this. It's really, really good. I'm a huge fan of the Batman Beyond series, strictly for the comic books. I watched maybe 1 or 2 episodes on TV way back when it was on. I'm more of a just regular Batman fan, but comic books, really, really good. The second part on the first story leaves a lot to be desired, but the second story kind of makes it kind of worth the $3.99, because you need that second story, because if it was just the first story, I'd demand a lot more content or I'd drop this book. But there were good points in the first story too, like you learn more about Batman's ex-girlfriend at the moment, her brother. Terry's girlfriend, that's his name. Finally, book of the week. As always, Batman number 7. Batman escapes the Council of Owls and is saved by a girl whom I have no idea who she is. But of course he's ungrateful for that. He's gone completely cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs because of what's gone on. There's a nice little prequel at the very beginning about Batman becoming Batman again. So he comes back to life. You learn more about the Talons. Batman gets back to the Batcave, has a freak out that the Talon, that Alfred found the Talon and brought it back to the labs, to the Batcave for examining. Once again, they're preparing the new Talon, and then we go back to the 3 pages that were on Nightwing in his book. It turns out that the Talon that attacked Bruce and that Bruce fought, and he's immortal, the Talon. The only way to stop him from coming back to life is to freeze him out completely, which is what Bruce is doing. Turns out that this Talon is Dick's great-great-grandfather, and huge spoiler here, Dick, well, I think I told you guys in the Nightwing book, Dick was also supposed to be a Talon, but because Bruce took him from the circus after his parents died, that changed, and they had to pick somebody else. So Bruce is doing a lot of research and stuff like that. I love Dick's lines, though, because Bruce thinks that the city was always watching out for him. It turns out that his city was really the Council of Owls series. Dick's lines are the best. You made a mistake and underestimated them. That's normal, but they are not Gotham, Bruce, and neither are you. Meaning Batman nor the Council of Owls are Gotham. Gotham is Gotham. Batman's just its guardian, and the Court of Owls is just another enemy that Batman has to face and beat. And the group of Talons are released into Gotham City. Next issue is the attack on Wayne Manor, and yes. So everything's setting up for the Court of Owls in 2 months. Greg Capello's artwork is awesome as always. The story is awesome as always. You guys, out of all the Batman books, This is my favorite, Batman and Robin being my second, and Batman the Dark Knight being my third. I recently dropped Batman Detective Comics due to the extra dollar added on for a second story that I really don't care for, and no offense, it was my fourth favorite. I was probably going to end up dropping it in April anyway. Okay, round out. This was a quick review, guys. Hope you guys still enjoyed it. I'm sorry, it's just these comics are late. I have a pile that's about double this size to do from last week's, and I have a pile that's about the same size as last week's coming this week. So let's round this out. Batman number 7, book of the week, really awesome. I would highly recommend checking out Batman. Batman Beyond Unlimited number 2. I would recommend everybody check it out who's a fan of Batman Beyond and somebody who wants to read something out of continuity. Another good Bat book. Nightwing number 7 I recommend also. It's really good. I would say check it out. Hood and The Outlaws number 7 was really good. I leave that up to you guys. Green Lantern Corps number 7 is my third favorite out of the 3 Green Lantern books. Once again, leave that up to you guys. Birds of Prey 7, we're still on the same story arc. I know there are other books probably that are still on the first story arc too, but I feel like the story is just being stretched like a rubber band and it's about to break. So I'm not too sure about the Birds of Prey anymore for myself. Justice League 7, I really have, I don't know what to say about it. I leave it up to you guys. I know a lot of people are enjoying Justice League. After reading this issue though and seeing how the present is no different than the past, really, and the Shazam story really put me over the edge, I'm most likely dropping Justice League, but I leave it up to you guys because I know a lot of you are actually enjoying it. So what can I say? It's a difference of opinion, and my opinion is I'm just not enjoying it. I'm not enjoying a lot of new stuff from DC because I just don't like the new DC, and I'm trying my hardest to at least enjoy some of what's left of DC that they left alone. The Amazing Spider-Man 682 feels more like a prequel than a part 1, but I guess it sets up for the story. I have faith in Dan Slott. I leave it up to you guys, but I say keep faith in Dan Slott. I have a feeling this story is going to be really good by the time it's over. Wolverine 303 was really awesome. I would recommend it. Deadpool 52, part 3, I'm sorry, of the Dead Saga. Really good. Loving the artwork, that's for sure. Invincible Iron Man 514. I hate the whole idea of the inhibitor. Kind of annoys me. It kind of puts that little annoyance in the story that's kind of going to be like, oh great, so now in the middle of the story he could be Iron Man and then the government's going to shut him off and it's going to piss everybody off because it's going to be like, Jesus Christ, when is he going to get that thing off? So I'm going to hold on to this until Avengers vs. X-Men's over because I have a feeling it's going to reach out into this book, and then if it doesn't and the inhibitor stays around for the next few issues, I'm probably going to drop it until the inhibitor gets broken off or something. Avengers X Sanction Part 404, as I said, pick it up and trade if you're really that interested. If you're a cable fan, you would have already been buying the entire series. Fantastic Four 604 I'm done with, and it's over. The Forever Saga's done. The Fantastic Four is back together. The FF is still alive. Whoop-de-doo. Road Rage number 2 is awesome. Highly recommend checking this out. Ghostbusters number 7. If you are a Ghostbusters fan, and even if you're curious, get the next issue of Ghostbusters. Go back and get the last few issues of Ghostbusters. It's really, really awesome. Infestation 2, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, number 2. The strongest of all the series in Infestation 2 thus far, but once again, Infestation 2 just doesn't leave me with that feeling that Infestation 1 did. Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi, Force Storm number 2. If you're a fan of Star Wars, I would highly recommend the beginning of the whole Jedi's councils and everything Jedi here. I would highly recommend that. BPRD Hell on Earth, The Long Death, Part 2 of 3. I'm enjoying this story, but this is going to be the only BPRD story I get until October when the whole Hell on Earth actual storyline starts happening. Darkness 101, of course, as I start to read something, the character and his entire life gets tossed upside down for a little time. And Saga number 1, I would recommend only for adults over the age of 18, at least. Even though it's something that I'm sure teenagers have seen and read about and gone about, I would still recommend that book for adults over the age of 18. I would not recommend that book for somebody younger. At least it's not as retarded as Bomb Queen, but it's just but the things in it are equal to the stuff in Bomb Queen. So to be honest with you guys, to give this book praise over Bomb Queen, it would be an injustice because there still is nudity. There was no need for that whole middle scene right before the middle of the book where there's a lot of nudity and a lot of sexual content. So I can't give this book like, oh my god, this is amazing. It's okay. The storyline's pretty good. There was stuff that wasn't needed, so I can't say it's better than Bomb Queen. No, it's got that same level of, you didn't really need the nudity and cursing, but at the same time, at least the story holds a little bit more on the logical sense than Bomb Queen. So I would say if you're an adult, I would recommend checking out Saga #1. There's a lot of #1s coming out of Dark Horse, IDW, well not IDW, and Image. I'm checking out a nice amount of those. So yeah, that was this week's comic review. I'm going to go now and start on the comic books from the 28th, and hopefully I'll have that review up by Friday and the new comic book review up on time. Everything's on time. I know the comic books for this week already shipped, so thank you God. Avenger Cast hopefully will be during the week of spring break, because the weekends are very busy, so I'm probably going to do it one of the days during my spring break, probably the very beginning of the week, so it'll kind of still count like the weekend. We'll see. I'm going to start sending messages out really soon, probably on Friday or Saturday. Anyway, guys, hope you're having a wonderful week. Keep reading, keep collecting. I'll see you guys in another Dark Avenger comic book review soon. There will be videos in between. Trust me, there's a nice amount of things coming. And as you guys can see from my additions to my Marvel Legends, the two, what do you call it, variant figures of Dark and Dark Wolverine and the Big Time Spider-Man, which is really the FF costume Spider-Man. Yeah, I have a lot of figure reviews to do also. So there's a lot of stuff to come. Spring break, there's going to be a lot of stuff. I'm going to be ordering a lot of stuff for spring break to open, unbox, and finagle around with and make videos on. So stick around. Hope you guys are having a great week, and I'll see you guys soon. So take care, everybody.